What's up, YouTube? It's your boy RushMoreRick. We got another reaction here today. Today we're going to be reacting to a prison story. So, I've never been to prison. Hopefully, none of my viewers ever been to prison. If y'all have, drop a comment of your experience. Some things that I know about prison that a lot of people know, whether you see it on TV or you see it on movies. A lot of people portray it as this place where your soul literally gets taken from you, either willingly or by any measure. Like, it's not a place for a person to want to go through, because you're gonna either experience some shit firsthand, or you're gonna see some shit firsthand or secondhand, or hear some shit that changes you, that changes the way that you see life, the way that you see people. So enough rambling, let's just get into it.
Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. Before we start, if you ain't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Don't take but a second. Push a little button, you're looking at it, you see it on the screen, click it.
Exactly, word two. Subscribe to my reaction channel. We get the shit going. Let's go.
All right, now we're gonna go with like or dislike. Do it now, do it after the video, whatever. Hit one of the thumbs. Stop skipping the little things.
He knows ball. Stop skipping them. Like my videos. Comment on my videos. Subscribe to my channel. Let's go.
Turn that bell on. And last but not least, leave a comment. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today I'm going to talk about my homeboy Brian, man. And y'all seen the title of the video, so y'all know what this is related to. Now, I talk a lot about Greensville. Greensville was a prison that I spent a lot of time in. About 8 years of my 10-year sentence was done in Greensville, here in Virginia. Greensville is known for housing some of the most, violent inmates. Large majority of the inmates there have life, violent charges, murders, rapes. If you've ended up at Greensville, you've done something, or you just got screwed in the deal somehow and got thrown there.
That's the worst type of
the majority of the guys that I kicked it with had violent charges. It's just not because, that's the type of people I flock to, but we have an understanding in how prison runs. We have, similar characteristics or beliefs. We're not going to stand for no bullshit. So it goes without saying, those are my type of dudes. Now, when I first got there, I had my issues. I was new, not new to being locked up, but new to this place. And every place runs different. There are similarities, but they run different. Now, right out the...
Pause. I don't want to cut him off, like, just this early in the video, but do y'all think prison is like school? I feel like mainly high school, it preps your sense of the real world. So depending on your high school experience, you're able to pull from that and apply that to every situation going forward, whether it be work, your job. Like a lot of jobs, it's just like a high school environment. A lot of the gym, a lot of gyms in our vicinity are like high school. Like, it's hard to explain and it's hard to put into words, but from what he just said, like how prison works, and like depending on how long you've been there, you get the gist of how it flows. It kind of reminds me of high school, especially the shit that I be seeing, like prisoners on TikTok, and they say it's literally just a big ass slumber party for criminals. Literally, that's what they say.
The gate, I linked up with stocky dude, man, named BK. And they called him BK because, from Brooklyn, whatever. Cool dude, man. I'm going to do a story on him one day, too. He tricked the shit out of me. But anyway, me and BK link up. I want to get on my big shit. I'm already, good size from being in jail and doing push-ups all that time, working out with the water bag. But BK had been locked up since the 90s, man. He's, cut up. This dude looked like a tree trunk with arms. And he was short, maybe 5'6", 5'7". Straight cannon. So he gets me on this workout with him, and he introduces me to the guy
hella
that this story is
descriptive, my
about.
boy.
a guy that also lived in my pod.
I never heard a
nigga
nigga
say. I never
say
paid much attention to.
A tree trunk.
And I'm just going to give y'all his
arms.
first name because, as I said, my a couple other videos, I don't believe in exploiting people's pains or downfalls,
Exactly.
unless it is their fault, unless it's something messed up on their part. So we're working out one day. I think we pretty sure we're doing back legs that day, and a dude comes up and asks for it next, and this guy lives about 10 cells down from me, and his name is Brian. We tell him, yeah, you can get it after us, let us get the squat rack next. Cool, whatever. Don't say much more to him. Me and BK, we build over time. We walk the track. I come to find out that BK, some of the charges he was in there for were murder. He got caught up down, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth area. Killed 2 dudes and left one in a wheelchair for life. Hit him up. They tried to rob him. Shots rang out. He killed 2 of them. Left one of them paralyzed. Just a little bit about BK. But BK would talk to me. He had been down a long time, so he knew a lot of the other guys that had been down a long time. He knew their stories. He knew why they were there. He had been on different compounds with them and seen things happen, the things that they had done. And this dude, Brian, stuck to himself. Super friendly guy. You would look at Brian and you would think, why is he in here? And back in the day, your state number used to let everybody know, pretty much told how long you had been down. Because, my number at the time was 357017. Now, if I run into a guy that's got a 36 number, that lets me know he came in way after me. If I run into a guy that's got a 25 number, he came in way, way before me. Brian Hanna had I can't remember, but it was in the low 2s. So I knew he had been down 15 years or better. So me and BK get to talking one day, man, and we're just shooting the bullshit, which you do a lot in prison. You tell a lot of stories,
15.
a lot of talking. Ain't no phones like that or nothing. So your biggest source of entertainment is kicking it with your homeboys and talking. And I asked him about Brian. I said, man, what's up with dude? And he was like, well, Brian, he's good people, man. I said, yeah. I mean, well, what's up with him? You don't ask people their charges, but other people know. I said, well, he's got a body. He was like, yeah, he's got a body, but he didn't come in with a body. Which kind of, rose my eyebrows a little bit. And I'm like, what you mean he didn't come in with a body? He was like, Hannah's got a life sentence, but it's for murdering another inmate. And he goes on to tell me the story of Brian. So here we go. Brian came in originally on a drug charge back in the 90s, early 90s. Just had a couple.
First, that is fucked, bro. Imagine you get put in jail or prison based off of something. I don't want to say it's so simple as a drug charge, but something as minimal as that. Something that's not supposed to keep you locked away forever. Something that's not supposed to take you away from society. And then my whole thing is I feel like when you get put in these situations, or you go to jail, go to prison, and you in your head, that you're there temporarily, but other people that are there for years, have been there for years, or like they got life sentences, they got nothing to lose. How do you put people who are temporarily off the streets in the same environment as people that are there for life? Or people that are going to be there for 30, 40, 50 years plus. Like, that never made sense to me, bro. Never.
Years, they took Brian at the time and threw him in a prison that he shouldn't have been in. Around certain types of people that he should have never been housed with.
See?
Well, they have what's called open bay showers, which is a shower with no partition, nothing to, hide you, whatever you got going on from the next man. Y'all just shower. I mean, it's just a big ass open concrete area with shower heads. And he goes on to tell me, he says, Brian was just doing a couple years, man, and where he was at, there was a dude that was notorious for raping dudes, man. And this is back then it was more common.
That's
not so much today, still happens, but not as much. And he tells me, Brian was a lot smaller than he is now. And I knew Brian from seeing him in the pod and from seeing him work out. He wasn't a big dude, but he was in good shape. And he tells me that, Brian had started his bid, everything was going good, and these are the things that he had been told from Brian, and things that he also witnessed from being around Brian at this camp when this happened. So this is actually his testimony of what he saw. He said that you minded your business back then, unless it was one of your people being hurt, or you were just somebody that wanted to save the world. If something happened, you stayed out of it. Because you getting in it could get you killed, could run your time up, could cause you all these problems with other these people. So it's kind of, mind your business.
Rightfully so.
He said you could tell when Brian came in, he was timid. He didn't like showering with a lot of people, and he just stayed to himself. So he would wait till late night when everybody was laid down for the night or watching TV and the showers were pretty much dead, and Brian would go take his shower. He said that this went on for a little while, no hiccups, no problems. But there was a dude in there that, had raped other dudes in the past. But everybody kind of kept the eye on, just watched him. But just like most of these dudes, they're predators. They know who they can prey on. They're not going to run up on the dude that they know is going to cut his throat. They're not going to run up on the dude that's going to take, a piece of rebar and stab him all up in his chest with it. They're not going to do that. They're going to go after somebody they feel they can victimize. That's where Brian comes into play. He said that one night in particular, he said, I'm on my bunk, I'm watching TV, whatever, can't remember the show. He said, but Brian walks by my bunk and went to the shower. He said he's got his soap dish, his shampoo, his towel, his rag. He's got his shower shoes on. Got a little pair of gray.
Another pause. I don't care. It's my shit. Hot take. If I was ever in jail in prison, I don't think I'm ever showering. I will be that stinky nigga. I will be that. If I gotta be that. If I can't shower by myself, if I can't be the only Viniad in the shower at my time, why would I want to shower with a whole bunch of grown ass men? Why does anybody want? Why is the prison systems allowing grown ass men to shower a bunch around? It's like these niggas is grooming homosexuality. If that makes sense. I don't want to get too deep on that topic, but it's like you're placing a whole bunch of men with no privacy and telling them, all right, get naked and shower amongst each other. Don't look at the next man. Don't interact with the next man, but shower as a collective. That shit weird.
Sweat shorts, a white tee, and then change clothes.
I can't go to jail, bro. I can't go to prison.
So Brian heads over to the shower.
That shit is football central.
He's just, regular routine, taking a shower. He said it's not long after that he feels the presence of somebody moving behind him, and this dude that did this, I never got the dude's name, slept a couple bunks behind him. He said he seen the dude get up and head towards the shower with his shower stuff. He said that maybe 3-4 minutes goes by and you start hearing scuffling, and then you can hear that very unforgettable sound of fist hitting flesh, which is just, he said, and you can tell that they're in there fighting, but it sounds like a one-way fight. It doesn't sound like, you don't hear anything, two sets of shower shoes scuffling. You don't hear a lot of tumbling. You just hear a little bit of ruckus, and then he said that's what you're hearing. He said you hear some screaming. He looks out of control booth. The guard is not.
Now my thing is that fighting, because you're saying you're hearing one-way pounding. Is that fighting or is that cheeks being violated? Because to me, I would think, oh, he's not punching him. He's clapping him ferociously.
Not paying no attention, and the guard was paying attention. She acted like she didn't care what was going on. I guess she was minding her business too. This guy ends up raping Brian in the shower. Right there on this cold, nasty, old, dingy, tiled penitentiary floor. He raped this other man. So they're expecting that there's going to be this big investigation. The police are going to come in. Brian's going to say something. This guy's going to go to court. He's going to get locked up. None of that happens. Just doesn't happen. Brian doesn't say anything. He said he watched the dude come out the shower. Short time later, Brian came out, knots on his head, knots on the side of his face. You know, you can tell by the way he was walking that things weren't right. He had his head down, you know, and everybody knew what had just happened. But it's like I said, it's one of those things, it ain't your business, you mind your business. They thought it was over with. They thought, you know, the most that might happen is this dude might try Brian again. But he said that didn't happen. He said after that incident, a week goes by and they're all expecting. He said Brian ain't been back to the shower since. You know, he's not going to chow. He's going out in the rec yard and he's sitting all the way at the other end by himself with his back to everybody in this field. And everybody's just like, damn, you know what I mean? This is crazy to have to live this life and watch this type of stuff take place. What they didn't know is that Brian had got his hands on a piece of metal and was sitting at the other end of that yard with his back to everybody with a rock between his legs, sharpening this piece of steel. Sharpening day after day. He's sitting there,
counting down.
Until this piece of steel he's got his hands on is now
sharp as possible.
A big nasty piece of jagged metal that is gonna, you know, do nothing nice to anybody. He said one particular day, they're all going to chow and they're lined up, getting ready to go out. And he said it was a good day, like hot dogs or chicken or something like that. So that means everybody's going to chow. There's certain meals guys aren't going to go for because it's not even worth going over there. You'd rather just eat a soup and a chip or something. He said, and everybody's standing in the chow hall line and they're going through one at a time, getting their tray, going to find a spot to sit down. He said, and Brian is standing in the back of the line and Brian gets out from there's like a rail that goes around. He said Brian ducks under the rail, walks through the tables, and the big dude is standing there talking to somebody else and just walks right up on him, reaches over the rail and just plunges the knife in the side of his neck. But all these guards watching and just goes to stabbing him. Stabbing him in his face, his eyes, his mouth, his chest. The guy slumped over and Brian is just stabbing this guy. Stabbing him, stabbing him, stabbing him. He said to the point the guy slumped over the rail when he's dead and Brian is just running this blade through him over and over. There's two guards in the chow hall. They done ran out the chow hall, locked the door. They don't know what to do. They just witnessed this man murder this other man right in front of them, right in front of everybody. Going. Brian just assassinated this dude, killed him right there, which he should have. You know what I mean? If you're that type of person and you're doing that to people, there's no place for you in the world. I don't care if you think that because you're in prison that flies. There's no place for you in this world. So Brian did what he did. They brought the
somebody had to do
in.
it.
By the time the goon squad came in, Brian went and sat down on one of the little round benches at the table, all covered in blood, and just sat there. Now this is a man that came in with just a couple years, that has now butchered another man in front of an entire chow hall, in front of guards, in front of kitchen workers.
But I tell you what, nobody ever fuck with him again, because and it sucks that it comes at the risk of your freedom, bro. It came at the risk of your freedom. Not probably, because he's doing a life sentence for a body. He's still in there today if he's still alive. If he's still with us on this earth, that nigga is still in there today. But my thing is, it sucks that you got to set an example like that. You got to take another man's life in front of a whole bunch of people. And I tell you what, I bet you the next time that nigga was free, he had a glorious shower. He had the time of his life in the shower. Nobody probably even want to fucking shower with him. He probably got the shower to himself. Because they know that little nigga is crazy. That little nigga is capable of anything. Even though what he did was a retaliation of somebody attacking him because he was seen as weak. He was seen as a easy target. That shit sucks, bro. It does.
On camera, he just killed this man in front of everybody. Brian didn't ever report what happened to him in the shower. Never went to a guard, a counselor, nobody. But he brung it up when it was time for him to go to trial. He told him, look, this man had raped me. I pondered on what to do about it. I knew everybody knew, but I didn't want to bring no more light to it. I was scared for my life. Every night I was petrified it was going to happen again. So I killed him. They ended up getting Brian with premeditated first-degree murder.
Yeah. Because you thought about it.
He took the time to make the weapon. He had over a week to think about it. Could have told somebody, which, we know is not going to happen because, like I've said in other videos, who wants to be the guy that the rest of your Senate you're known for,
snitching,
being raped? They gave Brian a natural life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Wow.
So a guy that came in on a drug charge ended up with a life sentence behind dealing with the situation that happened to him. Brian is still in there today. Brian will die an old man in there. When I met him, he was probably in his late 30s. And this is the brutal reality of things that happen. Homeboy BK is still in there. I think his release date is like 2060 something.
You better lock in.
And he got locked up at 95.
Nigga got 2 YNs walking past
the
car.
It's a sad world we live in. They're all
you better lock
out
in,
there.
nigga.
They come in all colors, all shapes, all sizes, all forms, man. You never know who you're dealing with or what's going to happen to you in this life. But what matters the most, and what I hope y'all get from this story is, what matters the most is how you deal with it. When you take the law into your own hands, a lot of times justice is served. Just be willing to take what comes along with it. Brian, you won't see this, but shout out to you, man. You're a soldier. Hope your bid goes smooth, man. Hope some laws change in it.
All right, that's pretty much the gist of the video. What he said at the end, it's like a double-sided coin, because at the same time, I can't even say, like, it bothers me to say that you did the right thing. I feel like nobody should be in position to take another person's life, but at the same time, he defended himself. He did in his heart and in his head what he felt like he had to do to survive while being in prison. And unfortunately, what comes with that is you exchanged your freedom. You will spend the rest of your time on this earth in prison, in jail, following the rules, chained up like a dog, showering with a whole bunch of men, not seeing your family like freely. Like, obviously they got visitation, but you're never going to be able to live life as a regular human being again. And that really, I feel like that comes at the cost when you go in there. You put yourself in a situation where I may not walk out of here ever again, whether it be I die in here or whether it be I harm somebody and I spend the rest of my life in here. So I feel like always be cautious of the decisions you make, because there's no U-turns in a lot of them. There's no going back. A lot of shit that you do can be set in stone, but I ain't going to ramble to y'all. That was our first prison story on the channel. If y'all like it, like, comment, and sub. Comment. I want to hear feedback. I want to see what y'all got to say about this stuff. But yeah, it's your boy RushMoreRick, and we out. Peace.